The spoken word is a seed, and the subconscious mind is fertile soil. As we drift into the quiet rhythm of sleep, the conscious guard softens, and the infinite mind becomes open to suggestion, ready to receive the good prepared for it. Just as a farmer casts seed into the earth, knowing the harvest shall come, so too can we cast words of prosperity into the silence of night, and watch abundance unfold with effortless ease. Money is not a thing to be chased, it is a vibration, a current of divine supply, ever flowing, ever available. The universe is lavish, overflowing with riches beyond measure. Gold, silver, opportunities, ideas, and right connections are simply different forms of the one inexhaustible substance. When the mind is attuned to this substance, riches seek the dreamer, just as rivers find their way to the sea. To become a magnet for money is not to strive, but to align. A magnet does not struggle to draw iron. It simply is. Its nature does the work. In the same way, when the soul is saturated with thoughts of abundance, wealth moves toward it naturally, quietly, and surely. The law of attraction is not a theory, it is law, unchanging, precise, impartial. To hold in thought poverty, fear, or lack is to magnetize poverty, fear, and lack. But to hold in thought wealth, joy, and freedom is to draw these treasures from the unseen into the seen. The night hours are holy hours, when the soul communes with the infinite. In sleep, the restless chatter of worry is hushed, and the subconscious may be re-patterned with new images of plenty. To lie down with words of prosperity upon the mind is to plant gardens of wealth within. Just as surely as spring follows winter, these gardens will bear fruit in waking life. Fruit of money, fruit of opportunity, fruit of satisfaction and security. Declare to the sleeping self, I am a money magnet. Riches of every kind are drawn to me. The wealth of the universe is mine to receive. Repeat it, feel it, believe it, and let the subconscious accept it as truth. For the subconscious does not argue, it simply takes the word and multiplies it. The dreamer who sleeps in faith awakens in abundance. Every dollar in circulation is an idea in divine mind, and ideas are without limit. There is no shortage of money, only a shortage of belief. To program the mind for abundance is to step into the river of supply, where money flows like water, endlessly renewed. In sleep, the gates of limitation are closed, and the gates of plenty are opened wide. Therefore, let us release all striving, all doubt, all fear of not enough. Let us fall asleep in wealth consciousness, knowing that money is our servant, not our master, and that divine supply rushes to meet every need, every dream, every holy desire. The spoken word sows seeds of abundance in the fertile soil of the subconscious, and this truth is as eternal as the law of cause and effect. Words are not idle sounds drifting into the void, they are creative forces, carriers of power, shaping unseen energies into visible form. When a person speaks, whether aloud or silently in thought, the universe listens and responds. Words plant themselves deep in the subconscious, where they grow roots and branches, where they bear fruit in the experiences of life. To understand this is to understand that every utterance is a seed, and every harvest, whether of lack or plenty, sorrow or joy, is the natural outworking of the seeds sown in mind. The subconscious is soil, infinitely receptive, incapable of rejecting what is planted within it. It does not discriminate between truth or falsehood, wealth or poverty, strength or weakness. It simply receives, absorbs, and brings forth after its kind. If one plants seeds of fear, saying, I never have enough, or money is hard to come by, the soil accepts them and produces lack, struggle, and limitation. If one plants seeds of faith, declaring, I live in a universe of endless supply, or wealth is drawn to me with ease, the soil just as willingly accepts those words and brings forth prosperity, opportunities, and unexpected channels of provision. The spoken word is the sower, and the subconscious is the ground that cannot help but yield to it. Many believe that money, success, or opportunities are governed by chance, but chance is only the name given to harvests grown unconsciously. Every person is a farmer, and life is the field. The careless word is like a weed seed, and it springs up swiftly, choking out the good. How often do people speak idly of misfortune, debt, or limitation, not realizing they are summoning these very things. The subconscious hears no jest, takes no sarcasm, overlooks no idle remark to say in passing, "I can't afford that," or "I'm always broke," is to speak commands into the soil, commands that the subconscious must obey. Words spoken lightly are still seeds, and seeds planted will grow. To guard the lips, therefore, is to guard the future. Every declaration of abundance is a seed of wealth. Every declaration of poverty is a seed of lack. The wise one chooses words carefully, just as the skilled gardener selects seeds with intention. No farmer would cast thorns into the ground and expect a harvest of wheat. Yet many cast words of want into the soil of their mind and wonder why wealth eludes them. The spoken word is law to the subconscious, and law cannot be broken. At night, when the body grows still and the conscious mind releases its grip, the seeds sown through the day sink deeper into the soil. They work silently, invisibly, pressing toward manifestation. Just as the earth conceals the seed until the first tender shoots emerge, so the subconscious conceals its work until the harvest of words becomes visible in circumstances. Days, weeks, or months may pass, but the harvest comes. A careless word spoken in despair may blossom into a lost opportunity. A word of faith spoken with conviction may blossom into a sudden promotion or a stream of money arriving by mysterious channels. This truth brings both warning and promise. It warns for every thoughtless complaint, every murmur of lack. Every repetition of, "I can't," or, "It's impossible," is a seed destined to bear fruit. It promises for every affirmation of plenty, every word of thanksgiving, every declaration of, "I am provided for," is likewise a seed destined to ripen into supply. The soil of the subconscious does not resist, it obeys. The soil of the subconscious does not argue, it produces. What is spoken is what is sown, and what is sown must be reaped. One may say, "But I have spoken words of abundance and seen no result." The answer lies in persistence and belief. A seed does not sprout the moment it touches soil. It must be watered, nurtured, and given time. If doubt follows immediately after the word, it is as though the gardener uproots the seed before it takes hold. To speak wealth in the morning and fear in the evening is to plant and uproot. Plant and uproot, leaving the soil barren. Consistency is the key. The spoken word must be repeated until it imprints itself deeply in the subconscious, until the soil grips it so firmly that no contrary thought can tear it out. Imagination is the water to the seed of the word. To speak, "I am a magnet for money," while feeling anxiety is to plant a seed in dry ground. But to speak, "I am a magnet for money," and then picture streams of wealth flowing in, to feel the joy of receiving, to rest in the certainty of provision, that is to water the seed until it germinates. The subconscious responds to words most powerfully when they are charged with emotion and vivid imagery. The spoken word is the seed, imagination the rain, faith the sunlight, and persistence the tending hand of the gardener. With these, the harvest is inevitable. Words of abundance carry a vibration that attracts after their kind. The universe is filled with an infinite substance, invisible yet ever present, and words are the mold into which this substance pours itself. To say, "I am rich in every good thing," is to carve a channel for riches to flow. To say, "I never have enough," is to carve a channel for lack to continue. Substance must obey the form given it by words, for words are creative decrees. The soil of the subconscious and the substance of the universe are partners in creation, awaiting instruction from the spoken word. This power is not reserved for the learned, the wealthy, or the few, it belongs to all. A child who repeats words of plenty with joy and belief will summon abundance, as surely as a scholar who has studied the laws of mind. The principle is universal, impartial, precise. Words are the starting point of every fortune, the root of every prosperity, the invisible cause behind visible wealth. Those who master their words master their world. The spoken word sows seeds of abundance in the fertile soil of the subconscious, and the harvest of life is nothing more than the blossoming of these seeds into form. Every fortune begins with a phrase, every success with a declaration, every prosperity with an affirmation planted deep within the receptive ground of mind. To speak with intention is to sow with intention, and the field of life can yield nothing other than the crop of words planted within it. Money is a vibration, not a pursuit, and flows to those aligned with its current. Just as a radio must be tuned to the correct frequency to receive the desired broadcast, so the human mind must be attuned to the vibration of abundance in order to receive the flow of wealth. Many chase after money with restless effort, believing it to be outside themselves, a thing to be hunted, captured, and clung to. Yet money, like music, is not created by the receiver. It is already present, already vibrating, already circulating in infinite supply. The task is not to chase but to tune in, not to grasp, but to align. The vibration of money is the vibration of supply, of circulation, of endless giving and receiving. When one is in harmony with this vibration, money comes as naturally as air fills the lungs or rivers find their way to the ocean. When one is out of harmony, no amount of striving can secure lasting wealth, for the vibration repels what the mind denies. To fear money is to push it away. To resent money is to block its flow. To envy wealth in others is to declare oneself unworthy of it. But to bless money, to love the idea of supply, to see wealth as natural and good, is to call it forth into one's own experience. Alignment is not achieved through strain, but through belief. The inner conviction that money is good, that money is abundant, that money is flowing, sets the whole being on the frequency of prosperity. Just as a tuning fork struck at one end of a room causes another tuning fork of the same pitch to vibrate at the other, so does a mind vibrating with abundance call forth abundance from the unseen realm into the visible. The vibration of money answers the vibration of thought. What is within attracts what is without, and the outer life is but a mirror of the inner frequency. Those who chase money with worry often find themselves exhausted, for worry is a vibration of lack, and lack cannot attract supply. It is like running upstream against a current that was meant to carry one forward with ease. The harder they row, the further they seem from shore. Those who relax into faith, who hold thoughts of plenty, find themselves carried effortlessly by the current of wealth. They do not chase, they receive. They do not strain, they allow. For money is a vibration, and the one who aligns with it becomes a natural magnet, drawing riches without toil. This is why gratitude is such a powerful force. Gratitude is the vibration of having, the declaration that supply already exists and is already sufficient. To give thanks for money, whether great or small, is to tune the mind to the frequency of more. To complain about money, whether in want or in plenty, is to tune the mind to the frequency of less. The universe responds to vibration, not words alone, and gratitude infuses the word with the frequency of wealth. One may say, "I am rich," 1,000 times, but if the inner feeling is one of poverty, the vibration of poverty prevails. Yet one who whispers, "Thank you," with genuine joy for even the smallest coin carries a vibration of wealth that draws riches from every corner of the unseen. Money is movement, a symbol of circulation. It flows like blood in the body, like air in the lungs, like tides upon the shore. To hoard it in fear is to stop the current, and stagnation invites decay. To release it in trust is to keep the current alive, and circulation ensures return. Those who clutch at money with fear vibrate at the level of scarcity, and find that what they cling to slips away. Those who release with joy vibrate at the level of abundance, and find that what they give returns multiplied. The vibration of money demands flow. An alignment is achieved when giving and receiving are equally embraced as natural expressions of supply. The vibration of money is not only material but also mental. Ideas are currency, imagination is wealth, inspiration is a form of riches. To be aligned with the vibration of money is to open the mind to fresh ideas, to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to receive guidance and intuition that lead to prosperity. Wealth does not always arrive as coins or notes. Often it arrives first as a thought, a vision, a hunch, a door slightly ajar. Those attuned to the vibration of money recognize these signs and act upon them, turning unseen wealth into seen wealth. Those out of tune dismiss them, blind to the treasures that pass before their very eyes. Fear of money, disdain for money, or the belief that money is evil, lowers the vibration and creates resistance. Many long for wealth yet secretly despise it, declaring it corrupt or unspiritual. Such contradiction blocks the flow, for the vibration of desire is cancelled by the vibration of disdain. To align with the current of money is to see it for what it truly is: a tool, a servant, a symbol of divine supply. In the hands of the aligned, it builds, blesses, heals, uplifts, and multiplies good. The vibration of money is neutral, like electricity. It simply amplifies the vibration of the one who wields it. Those who love money rightly, as an expression of infinite abundance, draw it without guilt, without struggle, without fear. The vibration of money is harmony with life itself, for life is abundance. Nature does not hoard its blossoms, but scatters them freely. The ocean does not ration its waves, but pours them endlessly. The sun does not measure its light, but shines without ceasing. To attune oneself to money is to attune oneself to this same lavish principle of the universe. Scarcity is a man-made illusion. Abundance is the eternal reality. Those who believe in scarcity vibrate with it and experience it. Those who believe in abundance vibrate with it and receive it. Belief sets the tone sets the vibration, and vibration calls forth experience. Money responds to joy, for joy is a high vibration. To work in drudgery, fearing the loss of money, keeps one in the vibration of struggle. To work in joy, delighting in the circulation of wealth, sets one in harmony with prosperity. Joy opens doors, joy dissolves obstacles. Joy attracts opportunities. The vibration of joy is kin to the vibration of money, for both are expansive, free-flowing, life-giving. A cheerful giver and a cheerful receiver alike are tuned to the current of supply. Money, then, is never outside oneself. Never a thing to be pursued down barren roads. It is a vibration already present, already flowing, already waiting to be received. To align with it is to rise in thought, to shift in feeling, to speak words that affirm abundance, to give thanks for what is, and to expect more. Alignment is the effortless posture of faith, the restful awareness that supply is everywhere, within and without, and that the vibration of wealth answers the vibration of mind. When the mind sings the song of abundance, money dances toward it, keeping time with the rhythm of thought. A magnet does not strive, it attracts by nature, so does the mind saturated with wealth consciousness. The magnet does not labor to draw the iron filings near, nor does it plead with them to come closer. Its very being exerts a silent force, an unseen pull, that brings to it exactly what belongs to it. In the same way, the individual who lives and breathes wealth consciousness does not need to chase after money or opportunities, for the vibration of their thought creates an irresistible field. Riches come as if summoned, doors open as if by unseen hands, and what others strive for endlessly arrives with ease. To saturate the mind with wealth consciousness is to immerse it in the truth of abundance, until every thought is colored with plenty. It is to believe so completely in supply that lack cannot find a foothold. Just as a sponge absorbs water until it drips with fullness, so the mind, soaked in affirmations of prosperity, overflows with vibrations that attract wealth from all directions. The individual who carries such consciousness is like a living magnet, radiating signals that money, ideas, and resources cannot resist. Striving belongs to the consciousness of lack. When a person believes wealth is scarce, far away, or difficult, they strain and struggle to reach it, exhausting themselves in pursuit of what seems always out of grasp. Their very striving broadcasts a signal of need, and need repels supply. The law of attraction does not respond to desperate chasing, it responds to calm certainty. The magnet does not move toward the iron moves toward the magnet. Likewise, wealth moves toward the individual, who is inwardly at rest in the knowledge of abundance. The mind that is saturated with wealth consciousness dwells not on debts, bills, or insufficiency, but on the endless flow of supply. It sees opportunities where others see barriers. It speaks words of increase rather than words of decline. It expects good, and expectation is a form of silent prayer. Just as a magnet draws filings unseen until the pattern appears before the eyes, so the wealth-conscious mind draws opportunities and money until the evidence becomes visible in daily life. The unseen precedes the seen, and thought precedes form. When one understands this, effort takes on a new meaning. Action is still required, but it is not frantic, exhausting, or fear-driven. It is inspired action, flowing naturally from the wealth vibration within. A person saturated with wealth consciousness feels nudges, receives ideas, and meets circumstances that lead them effortlessly into prosperity. What others call coincidence is in truth the magnetic law at work. The right people appear at the right moment, the right opportunity is revealed, and the way forward is lit step by step. This law is impartial. The magnet does not decide which filings it shall draw, it attracts all within its field by the nature of its force. So too does wealth consciousness attract wealth without favoritism. It matters not the background, the education, or the history of the one who holds it. The law of attraction responds only to vibration. A pauper who saturates their mind with wealth consciousness becomes a magnet for prosperity, while a wealthy person filled with fear of loss becomes a magnet for poverty. The outer condition shifts to match the inner saturation. To saturate the mind is to make wealth thoughts habitual, automatic, and dominant. Occasional affirmations cannot accomplish this, just as a single drop of water cannot soak a sponge. Repetition, immersion, and continual focus are the tools by which the mind is trained. To rise each morning with words of abundance, to retire each night with visions of prosperity, to bless every coin that passes through the hands. These acts drip abundance into the subconscious until it is fully soaked. Once the saturation is complete, the attraction is effortless and constant. For the subconscious governs the outer life more powerfully than fleeting conscious thoughts. Consider the difference between the one who lives in worry and the one who lives in assurance. The worrier, even while working hard, radiates doubt, and doubt pushes away supply. The assured, even while at rest, radiates confidence, and confidence calls wealth near. Striving belongs to the worrier. Magnetism belongs to the assured. The magnet is silent, invisible in effort, yet powerful in result. So is the wealth-conscious mind. Money itself is sensitive to vibration. It flows toward joy, ease, and certainty, and flees from fear, resentment, or guilt. Those who despise wealth, or believe it corrupt, repel it unconsciously, no matter how much they outwardly seek it. Those who honor wealth as a tool of good, who see it as an expression of divine abundance, create a field of welcome into which money eagerly flows. The magnet attracts what it does not resist, and the wealth-conscious mind attracts wealth when all inner resistance is dissolved. Saturation requires discipline of thought. The world is filled with voices of lack, news of scarcity, tales of debt, warnings of downturn. To listen continually is to saturate the mind with fear, which creates the opposite magnetism. To withdraw attention from lack and direct it steadily toward abundance is the task of the one who seeks wealth consciousness. What the mind consumes daily becomes the vibration it emits, and what it emits is what it attracts. Imagination is the great ally in this process. To picture oneself already prosperous, to feel the joy of supply, to rehearse in the inner world the life of abundance, is to drench the subconscious with wealth images. These images become the mold into which reality pours. The magnet does not create the filings. It only arranges them according to its pattern. The wealth-conscious mind does not create money out of nothing. It arranges circumstances, people, and opportunities according to its vibration. Imagination sets the pattern and reality conforms. Even in small things, the principle reveals itself. To look at a single coin and see it as a symbol of endless supply is to charge that coin with magnetic power. To receive payment and bless it with gratitude is to increase its vibration. To spend joyfully, knowing circulation ensures return, is to keep the magnetic field strong. Every thought, every word, every feeling is either strengthening or weakening the magnet of the mind. By conscious choice, the magnet grows stronger until nothing can resist its pull. The magnet does not tire of attracting, nor does it doubt its power. Its nature is attraction, and it exerts it without effort. So too can the mind, once saturated with wealth consciousness, live in continual attraction. To dwell in assurance, to feel the truth of abundance, to think wealth until it becomes the very air one breathes, is to turn oneself into a living magnet, around whom prosperity gathers without resistance and without fail. Night hours are holy, where the subconscious receives and multiplies words of prosperity. When the body is at rest and the conscious mind drifts into silence, the deeper mind awakens to its great work. The subconscious, unguarded by doubt and free from the noise of daily thought, becomes like rich soil waiting for seed. Every word spoken before sleep, every image held in the mind as the eyelids close, drops into this soil and begins to germinate. The night is not a time of emptiness, but a time of unseen activity, where thoughts transform into patterns, and patterns prepare to manifest in waking life. During the day, the conscious mind argues, questions, resists. It hears an affirmation of prosperity and whispers back, but the bills are unpaid. It hears a declaration of wealth and insists, but my bank account is empty. At night, however, this resistance loosens. The guard falls asleep, and the subconscious accepts what is given without protest. If a person falls asleep rehearsing worries, those worries are magnified in the deep mind and replayed as restless dreams, eventually seeding lack into waking circumstances. But if a person falls asleep with words of abundance, gratitude, and prosperity, the subconscious multiplies them as a gardener multiplies seeds in the earth. The holy hours of night amplify what is sown, and the harvest appears in due season. The ancient wisdom of sleep lies in its power to cleanse and renew, not only the body but the soul. Just as the body repairs itself in slumber, the inner world repairs itself too. Every affirmation spoken before sleep is a command issued to the unseen self. To say, I am surrounded by wealth, I am prosperous in all ways, I am open to receive divine supply, is to instruct the subconscious to make these truths real. The subconscious does not judge or question. It simply creates from what it is given. It is the faithful servant of the spoken word, and at night it works without interference. Night carries a sacred stillness. The world grows quiet, distractions fade, and the soul becomes receptive. In this stillness, words of prosperity gain special power, for they are not competing with the clamor of noise or the weight of business. They sink deeper, resonate longer, and imprint themselves more firmly on the inner fabric of being. A single declaration made in faith before sleep can hold more power than hours of striving during the day, for it is planted in silence, nurtured by rest, and multiplied by the creative forces of the subconscious. The subconscious is always at work, day and night, but at night its activity becomes particularly potent. Dreams, impressions, and subtle images are the language through which it speaks. A person who saturates the mind with prosperity before bed may find themselves dreaming of wealth, of opportunities, of open doors. These dreams are not random. They are the subconscious rehearsing the reality it is preparing to deliver. The dream world mirrors the seeds that have been planted, and when these seeds are planted in prosperity, the waking world begins to reflect abundance. Nighttime is also the hour of surrender. In sleep, control is released and surrender is total. This surrender allows the subconscious to take over completely. Struggle ceases, effort ceases, and in this ceasing lies great power. Prosperity is never the fruit of strain, it is the fruit of alignment. The night provides the perfect state for alignment. For the conscious mind no longer resists with doubts and fears. To go to sleep in faith is to let the subconscious take over as the master gardener, cultivating prosperity without interruption. Words of prosperity spoken before bed are like keys that open hidden doors. They reach into the depths where childhood beliefs, old fears, and ancient patterns lie dormant, and they begin to reshape them. A person who has long believed in struggle may begin to dissolve that belief by affirming abundance at night. Slowly, the subconscious releases old impressions and replaces them with new ones. The holy hours are hours of transformation, when the deepest roots of thought can be pulled and replanted. The night multiplies, always multiplies. Whatever seed is sown expands. Negative words, anxious thoughts, resentful feelings. These too multiply if carried into sleep. They grow into restless dreams, into feelings of heaviness upon waking, into patterns of difficulty that play out through the day. Yet the law is impartial. If wealth is sown, wealth multiplies. If joy is sown, joy multiplies. If gratitude is sown, gratitude multiplies. The subconscious takes what is given and produces it in abundance, regardless of whether the seed was wanted or unwanted. This is why the hours before sleep are sacred. They determine the harvest of the day to come. Children understand this naturally. A child lulled to sleep with words of love, encouragement, and security grows in confidence and joy. A child put to bed with fear or harshness absorbs those vibrations instead. Adults are no different. The subconscious remains impressionable throughout life, and the night remains the open gate through which impressions enter. To treat the night with reverence is to treat the subconscious with reverence. To speak prosperity at night is to honor the divine law of multiplication. Wealth consciousness deepens in sleep when it is fed before sleep. To visualize abundance, to affirm prosperity, to feel gratitude for supply, and then to surrender into slumber is to saturate the subconscious with abundance. The subconscious then works tirelessly, arranging circumstances, guiding choices, nudging opportunities into place. Outwardly, nothing seems to be happening during the night, but inwardly, forces are moving, aligning, creating, just as seeds germinate unseen in the soil before they sprout into the light. So words of prosperity germinate in the night hours before they manifest in waking life. Night hours are holy because they are creative hours. The conscious mind sleeps, but the subconscious does not. It takes its instructions seriously, and it follows them faithfully. Every affirmation of abundance spoken with conviction before bed is a command to the subconscious to create abundance. Every visualization of wealth is a blueprint it begins to construct. Every feeling of gratitude is fuel for its work. The night is not idle. It is a workshop of creation, where invisible blueprints are drawn and invisible seeds are nurtured. The wise make use of this workshop. They do not let the night pass filled with complaints, worries, or resentment, for they know these would multiply into more of the same. Instead, they sanctify the night with words of increase. They fall asleep whispering truths of prosperity, feeling the presence of supply, rejoicing in the abundance already theirs. They treat the night as sacred ground, planting in it only that which they desire to reap. The subconscious multiplies faithfully, and the harvest comes. Sometimes swiftly, sometimes slowly, but always surely, for night hours are holy, where the subconscious receives and multiplies words of prosperity. The subconscious accepts what is impressed upon it, and brings forth riches without resistance. It does not argue, it does not debate. It does not question whether a thing is possible or impossible. It only takes what it is given and sets it into motion, weaving the invisible threads that shape the tapestry of outer life. Just as fertile earth does not inquire whether the seed is good or bad, but simply nurtures it until it grows, the subconscious does not distinguish between poverty thoughts and prosperity thoughts, fear or faith, lack or plenty. It multiplies whatever seed is planted, and the harvest comes in kind. To understand this is to understand the secret of creation. The conscious mind is the sower, and the subconscious is the soil. Whatever the conscious mind impresses, through repeated words, vivid images, and deep feelings, drops down into the subconscious, where it takes root and begins to shape conditions. If the conscious mind impresses fear, worry, and expectation of loss, the subconscious accepts it and brings about circumstances that match. If the conscious mind impresses faith, gratitude, and the certainty of abundance, the subconscious accepts it and manifests wealth and opportunity. It is impartial, faithful, and obedient to whatever is given. There are those who live in continual struggle, not knowing that they themselves are feeding their subconscious with the very patterns that bind them. They speak of lack all day, saying, "I can't afford this. I never have enough. Money slips through my fingers." And these words, repeated often enough, impress themselves deeply upon the inner mind. The subconscious, receiving these words as commands, brings forth lack, shortage, and debt. Yet they wonder why prosperity evades them, not realizing they are harvesting exactly what they have planted. The law cannot fail, it can only reflect. On the other hand, those who learn to guard their words and direct their thoughts are like wise farmers who plant only good seed. They declare, "I am always supplied. Money comes to me from many channels. I am prospered in all my ways." And these affirmations, spoken with conviction and repeated with consistency, sink into the subconscious. The subconscious, ever receptive, brings them to pass, arranging circumstances, guiding ideas, and drawing resources. What seems like coincidence to the outer eye is simply the law of the subconscious unfolding. The subconscious brings forth riches without resistance, because it has no power to resist. Resistance belongs to the conscious mind, which argues, analyzes, doubts, and fears. The subconscious only accepts and creates. It is like clay in the hands of the potter, taking whatever form is pressed upon it. It is like a mirror, reflecting whatever is held before it. It is like a servant, carrying out orders without question. This is why the impressions given must be chosen with care, for the subconscious is always listening, always receiving, always creating. Emotion deepens impression. A casual thought may pass through the mind without sinking into the subconscious, but a thought charged with feeling sinks deep. To worry with fear is to impress fear deeply, and the subconscious multiplies it. To affirm with joy is to impress prosperity deeply, and the subconscious multiplies it. The intensity of the feeling is like the depth of the planting. Shallow seeds bring weak crops, deep seeds bring abundant harvests. This is why gratitude, joy, and certainty are powerful tools for impressing prosperity. They plant the seeds of wealth so deeply that nothing can uproot them. Repetition also secures impression. A single statement may be quickly forgotten, but words and thoughts repeated again and again carve grooves in the subconscious. Just as water flowing continually over stone wears a channel, repeated affirmations wear channels in the subconscious until they become pathways for manifestation. The subconscious thrives on repetition. What is spoken often, it takes as truth. What is imagined often, it accepts as real. What is felt often, it multiplies without hesitation. Visualization is another way of impressing the subconscious. To see in the mind's eye the life of abundance, to picture wealth flowing freely, to imagine the joy of receiving, is to impress these images upon the inner mind. The subconscious does not distinguish between imagined and actual. It only knows the impressions given. When the image is clear and repeated, the subconscious sets about to create circumstances that match. The invisible picture becomes the visible reality. The subconscious is tireless in its work. While the conscious mind grows weary and rests, the subconscious continues without pause. During sleep, it processes impressions and works to bring them into form. It does not delay, it does not resist, it does not stop. It simply unfolds what it has been given, in perfect order and timing. This is why the hours before sleep are powerful, for the last impressions of the day sink deep and are carried through the night, magnified and multiplied. Riches, then, are not limited to money alone, but include health, joy, relationships, opportunities, and peace of mind. The subconscious can be impressed in any direction. If it is impressed with lack of health, it manifests disease. If impressed with vitality, it manifests strength. If impressed with loneliness, it manifests isolation. If impressed with love, it manifests companionship. The law is exact, impartial, and unfailing. Whatever is impressed, it expresses. Some believe that willpower alone creates results, but willpower often fades, and the conscious effort of will is filled with resistance. True creation flows not from will but from impression. Once the subconscious has been impressed, the results come naturally, without strain, without struggle. It works silently, invisibly, and irresistibly, bringing about the outer reflection of the inner belief. The river flows where the channel is dug, and the subconscious is the one that digs the channel according to the pattern given it. The subconscious accepts words most easily when they are spoken with authority and finality. To say, "I am prosperous," with conviction impresses the idea far more than to say it half-heartedly. To say, "Wealth flows to me," as though announcing a fact, impresses the subconscious as truth. The subconscious responds to the tone of certainty, for certainty carries the vibration of reality. Doubt weakens the impression, but faith strengthens it. The more unwavering the declaration, the more powerful the imprint on the subconscious. It is not necessary to understand how the subconscious works in order for it to bring forth riches, just as it is not necessary to understand how a seed grows in order to reap a harvest. It is only necessary to plant, to water, to nurture, and to trust the process. The subconscious has its own intelligence, its own ways of arranging circumstances, its own mysterious methods of bringing supply. The visible mind cannot always see the path, but the invisible mind knows the way. The subconscious accepts what is impressed upon it and brings forth riches without resistance, faithfully, tirelessly, without judgment, without delay. It is the hidden engine of prosperity, the silent architect of circumstances, the unseen gardener who tends the seeds planted by thought, word, and feeling. Whatever is sown is reaped, and the soil is always ready, always fertile, always responsive to the impressions it is given. There is no shortage of money, only a shortage of belief in infinite supply. The universe is a boundless storehouse, overflowing with wealth in countless forms, waiting to be claimed by those who believe. Gold, silver, paper currency, digital figures on screens, these are but symbols of the one substance that fills all space. Ideas, opportunities, inventions, connections, and inspiration are forms of the same infinite supply. Lack is not in the universe itself, for the earth produces without ceasing. Rivers flow without pause, stars shine without dimming, and life renews itself endlessly. Lack exists only in the mind that closes its eyes to abundance and chooses to dwell in limitation. The illusion of shortage arises when people mistake appearances for truth. A bank account may appear small, a wallet may seem empty. A bill may arrive demanding more than one thinks they possess, but these are only surface shadows. Beneath them lies the truth of inexhaustible supply. Just as clouds may obscure the sun without extinguishing its light, so temporary appearances of lack cannot touch the reality of infinite wealth. Those who believe in shortage empower the illusion and give it strength, while those who believe in abundance pierce through appearances and draw forth new channels of supply. Belief is the key that unlocks the storehouse. To believe in shortage is to lock the door, to believe in abundance is to open it wide. The subconscious mind responds to belief as law, creating conditions to match the inner conviction. If a person continually affirms, "There is not enough," the subconscious accepts it and manifests lack accordingly. If a person affirms, "I live in a universe of infinite supply," the subconscious accepts it and arranges channels for supply to flow. Belief is the magnet, drawing to itself whatever it holds as true. The world is filled with examples of this law at work. Some grow rich in times of economic downturn because they believe in opportunity where others see only loss. Some remain poor in times of prosperity because they believe scarcity hides behind every gain. The difference is not in circumstance but in consciousness. Those who believe in infinite supply see opportunities in every direction, and those opportunities multiply. Those who believe in shortage see closed doors at every turn, and those doors remain closed. The universe reflects belief with impartial accuracy. Nature itself testifies to abundance. A single tree produces thousands of seeds, more than enough to cover the earth and forests. A field of wheat multiplies from a handful of grains into a harvest that feeds nations. The ocean sends wave after wave without end, and the sun rises faithfully every morning, pouring out light without rationing its rays. To walk through nature is to walk through a living parable of infinite supply. The only shortage is the human refusal to believe in what is plainly revealed. Fear is the great thief of supply. Fear whispers, "There is not enough," and the mind accepts this lie as truth. Fear clutches, hoards, withholds, and resists circulation. cutting off the very flow it dreads to lose. Yet money, like blood, like air, like water, is meant to circulate. When it is held too tightly, it stagnates. When it is released with faith, it returns multiplied. Fear creates shortage because it trains the mind to see lack, to expect lack, to prepare for lack, and what is expected must be fulfilled. Faith creates abundance because it trains the mind to see supply, to expect supply, to prepare for supply, and what is prepared for must arrive. The belief in shortage has been taught through generations, passed down as a false inheritance. Children are told, money doesn't grow on trees. Life is hard. You must struggle to get ahead. These statements, repeated often, sink into the subconscious and create a worldview of limitation. Yet they are illusions, for money itself comes from trees in the form of paper, and life itself flows with effortless abundance when aligned with divine law. To break the cycle of inherited scarcity, one must plant new beliefs. Money flows freely to me. I live in ease and abundance. I am supported by infinite supply. These new seeds uproot the old and create a new harvest. There is no shortage in the substance of the universe, only shortage in human imagination. Every invention once seemed impossible until belief opened the way. Every fortune once seemed unattainable until someone believed it could be created. The airplane was born from belief in the possibility of flight, electricity from belief in harnessing invisible power, great empires of wealth from belief in unseen opportunities. The substance for these things always existed, belief merely called them into form. The same substance remains, waiting to be shaped by belief today. Those who truly believe in infinite supply never envy the wealth of others, for they know there is enough for all. Envy is born of the illusion of shortage, the thought that another's gain must be one's loss. But in a universe of abundance, another's gain proves what is possible and opens the way for more. To bless the wealth of others is to affirm one's own wealth, for what is acknowledged in another is multiplied within oneself. To strengthen belief in abundance, one must continually train the mind to see it everywhere. To give thanks for small coins as readily as for great sums, to rejoice in every sign of prosperity, to recognize the lavishness of nature, to notice the endless circulation of wealth in the world. These acts build conviction in infinite supply. Each acknowledgement is a reminder that lack is only an illusion, that abundance is the truth, and that belief aligns the self with that truth. There is no shortage of money, only a shortage of belief in infinite supply. The rivers of wealth never run dry. Only the channels of belief become blocked. When the channel is opened by faith, gratitude, and expectancy, the flow returns, swift and unceasing. The universe does not withhold, it only mirrors. What the mind believes, it receives. What the heart expects, it attracts. What the soul affirms, it becomes. Infinite supply surrounds and fills all things, and belief is the bridge that allows it to flow into visible experience. To sleep in wealth consciousness is to awaken in abundance made manifest. The night is a passageway where thought sinks deep into the fertile soil of the subconscious, and what is planted there blooms in the light of day. When the last impressions before slumber are words and visions of prosperity, the inner mind receives them as truth and sets about to create circumstances that mirror them. Sleep becomes a workshop of creation, where the seeds of wealth are nurtured in silence and multiplied without resistance. Wealth consciousness is not merely a passing thought of money, but a deep saturation of the mind with the idea of endless supply. It is the conviction that the universe is generous, that opportunities are limitless, that money flows freely and abundantly. To fall asleep holding such thoughts is to let them sink into the subconscious without interruption, for during sleep the conscious guard is lowered, doubts are hushed, and resistance fades. The subconscious accepts the thought of prosperity as fact, and fact it becomes in the fabric of life. The hours before sleep are sacred, for they determine the night's labor of the subconscious. One who lies down rehearsing worries, counting debts, or fearing tomorrow impresses the subconscious with patterns of lack. These patterns grow through the night and rise as difficulties in the morning. one who lies down declaring, "I am a magnet for money, I am richly supplied. My life overflows with abundance," impresses the subconscious with patterns of wealth. These patterns grow in the night and rise as opportunities, solutions, and blessings in the day. Sleep magnifies whatever is sound, and the harvest is sure. When the mind falls asleep in wealth consciousness, the dream world often reflects images of plenty. These dreams are not idle fancies, but the subconscious rehearsing and shaping the realities it prepares to manifest. A person may dream of receiving gifts, discovering treasure, or walking through fields of gold. These are signs that the inner mind has accepted the impression of abundance and is weaving it into the tapestry of experience. Even if no dreams are remembered, the subconscious remains at work, arranging circumstances, nudging ideas, and guiding unseen currents that lead to prosperity. Wealth consciousness before sleep is like a compass set toward abundance. Throughout the night, the subconscious aligns itself with that direction, adjusting attitudes, dissolving fears, and planting new convictions. Upon waking, the individual feels lighter, more certain, more receptive to good. They may not know why doors open or why the right person crosses their path, but the alignment created during the night makes it inevitable. Sleep in wealth consciousness, and waking life becomes a field of opportunities. There is a rhythm to creation, impression, incubation, and expression. Sleep belongs to the second stage, where impressions incubate in the quiet of the subconscious. Just as a seed rests unseen in the earth before breaking forth into the visible plant, so the thought of abundance rests in the subconscious during the night before manifesting in visible prosperity. To sleep in worry is to incubate weeds. To sleep in wealth consciousness is to incubate harvests of gold. The process is as sure as the law of seasons. Gratitude is a powerful companion to wealth consciousness at night. To review the day and give thanks for every sign of supply, no matter how small, sets the subconscious vibrating with the frequency of abundance. Gratitude declares that wealth already exists, and the subconscious multiplies what it believes exists. A person who goes to sleep rejoicing in every provision, food, shelter, kindness, opportunities, trains the inner mind to see and create more of the same. Gratitude is the fragrance that sweetens the seed of prosperity planted before sleep. Visualization deepens the impression. To picture oneself surrounded by wealth, to imagine walking through a home of beauty, to see money flowing in through unexpected channels, impresses the subconscious with vivid images. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and imagined, it accepts both as truth. When these images are rehearsed as the body relaxes into sleep, they take root with great force. The subconscious then works to replicate them in waking life, shaping conditions, arranging events, and guiding choices until the picture becomes reality. Many have experienced the power of sleeping in wealth consciousness without naming it. They fall asleep with a problem unsolved, only to awaken with the solution clear in mind. They go to bed feeling expectant, only to find opportunities waiting the next day. This is the subconscious at work, aligning with the impressions given at night. What is impressed becomes expressed, and sleep is the bridge between the two. Wealth consciousness also removes fear during the night. Many wake in the dark hours burdened with anxiety about bills, debts, or future needs. But one who has filled their mind with abundance before bed drifts into sleep with peace, knowing they are supplied. That peace itself is a vibration that attracts wealth. Fear repels, but peace attracts. To sleep in peace is to declare trust in infinite supply. And trust is answered with provision. The practice of sleeping in wealth consciousness transforms even the smallest details of life. A person may find unexpected refunds, surprise gifts, opportunities for income, or new ideas that generate prosperity. These outward results are only the surface ripples of the deep inner current set in motion during the night. The subconscious, once impressed with wealth, works tirelessly to bring wealth into form. It knows no obstacle, for it does not reason in terms of impossibility. It only fulfills what it has been given as truth. Consistency strengthens the practice. To fall asleep once in wealth consciousness may bring a single result, But to fall asleep nightly in this state creates an unbroken chain of impressions. The subconscious, saturated with abundance, becomes fixed in wealth consciousness, and prosperity flows continually. Just as a garden watered daily flourishes, the mind watered nightly with thoughts of abundance flourishes with prosperity. The more consistent the practice, the richer the harvest. The one who sleeps in wealth consciousness becomes a magnet for abundance in every form. They attract money, but also health, joy, peace, love, and opportunity, for wealth is more than currency, it is the fullness of life in all directions. The subconscious, once aligned with wealth, draws to itself everything that corresponds to abundance. People appear, ideas unfold, doors open, and circumstances align. The world bends to the vibration of the wealth, conscious sleeper, and waking life reveals what was impressed in the night. To sleep in wealth consciousness is to plant seeds of prosperity in the deepest soil of the mind, seeds that cannot help but sprout into the visible world. It is to use the night as a sacred workshop, where thoughts of plenty are multiplied in silence. It is to rest in faith, knowing the subconscious is a faithful servant, always creating from the impressions it is given. To sleep in wealth consciousness is to awaken in abundance made manifest, for the night shapes the day, and the unseen shapes the seen.